All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Sunday. God bless everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. Even if you are not religious, I pray you and your family are blessed in many, many ways. On this beautiful morning, as Bitcoin, guys, as the title of the video says, emergency, bounce or nuke, we are coming down to an amazing area of support. And guys, if we don't hold this, well, I hate to say it, but looks like we might actually see Bitcoin go all the way to $0. I didn't want to have to say it. I said it! Hell no! Look, I'm just playing, man. But seriously, we're coming down to a very key support, which if we lose, we will probably see more downside. But we are heading into bounce season, guys. It is August. Happy August. It is the 3rd of August. It is bounce season. Now, 1 year from this day, 1 year ago from today, we actually, well, 1 year and 2 days. 1 year and 2 days ago, 367 days ago, we actually bounced and saw a massive pump in August. And we're seeing very similar things right now to what we saw a year ago. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Casper Peterson. He says, oh no, but he says 0 no. Shout out to Outback Kid. People laughed when I shorted ETH hard. He's made so much money. Shout out to Outback, man, why can't I say that? Outback Kid making so much money on the short. Shout out to the king of Bitcoin. I'm not a bear, but I'm expecting more downside. Look at market Cipher. Yeah, we're gonna look at that weekly market Cipher, man. Whew. I'm telling you, things are coming down to the wire. Major shout out to HFG. Shout out to Donald Pump. Shout out to Patrick Power and K Diggity. God bless y'all. Shout out to Free Will. Shout out to Duncan McLean. He says LGBT suck ass. What, bro? What am I even reading in my chat, bro? What the heck? Shout out to Ape. He says Christ is king. Amen. Praise Jesus. Amen. Shout out to Infinite Candles. Yeshua is king. Amen. Shout out to Abhine Varma. He said, this one. Guys, let's make this one the one. All right, let's make this one the one. This is the one where if we get 1,000 likes in the first half hour, we are going to be giving away 1,000 USDT. And a major shout out to Crypto Coons holding it down. My man with the wrench, the best YouTube and Discord moderator in the world. Crypto Coons, man. Shout out to Eddie, what's with the clock? It glitched out. Shout out to Splash Route Films coming in with the Romans 828. Shout out to Nola coming in with the Romans 828. Shout out to Steve Pickett. Haha, time situation is definitely different. Yeah, we had a weird time situation. Guys, make sure to smash up the likes. And we got to give a major shout out to our sponsors. First of all, KCEX. I've been trading on KCEX here. I use this exchange along the exact bottom. Okay, maybe not the exact bottom, but pretty dang close. All right, very low fees. All right, very low fees over here on KCEX. Check it out, link in the description. 0% limit order, 0.01% taker. Also, we got to give a major shout out to BLOFIN. BLOFIN, check it out. Best dang exchange. Because they're going to give you 20% cash back. $500 future bonus. And look, sign up to BLOFIN right now using my link. And this week, you will be eligible to win $100 without even having to deposit anything. You got nothing to lose. Signing up for BLOFIN using my link. You don't have to trade. You don't have to deposit. But you can get $1,000 to trade, $100 to trade with. This coming week, BLOFIN's gonna do a giveaway, baby. We also got to give a shout out to WEEX, another exchange, low fees and Antarctic, decentralized exchange. Of course, if you know how to trade but you don't have money, check out Klein Funding, crypto prop firm. Link in the description. 15% discounts on these funded accounts. You only have $40. Well, I have a 25% discount on this. So for $30, you can get a $6,000 funded account using my coupon code. Pretty crazy. Also, if you want to join the Discord, where we give the trade setups in advance, go to jasoncaspertrading.com. jasoncaspertrading.com, where we every single day do multiple live streams where we go through the price action, We give you our trade setups, and we don't give signals, right? I've longed. I tell people, hey, I'm long. I give the reason why, all right? Not a signal. Just letting you guys know I'm long. I see more upside. TP1, we're shooting for the golden pocket on the TP1. We hit our TP1. I'm just telling you guys what I'm doing. Y'all don't have to do that. I don't know. All right, I was expecting more upside. I'm not going to lie. But we locked in that TP1, baby. We locked in that TP1 and we made the money. All right. In the Casper Crew VIP Discord, it's myself and other instructors walking you through the juicy price action live. Just like we are live right now. We are live right now on YouTube. On KCEX. We're trading on KCEX, baby. Man, I love me some KCEX. I'm going to tell you, this reminds me of MEXC back in 2023. The heat of the bear market, scalping on the 5-second time frame back in 2020. Man, I love me some KCEX. It's like Special K. Special K, you know what I'm saying? Processed junk. But you convince yourself it's good for you. You know, scalping the 5-second time frame, you convince yourself it's good for you. Now, we have to talk about where we're bouncing, why we're bouncing, and what we can expect. As you can see from the chart, we need to reclaim 113978.6. And I know I just read that price the way Joe Biden would read a phone number. But look, the Bitcoin price is so crazy these days that I don't even know what it's at. So I'm just going to read it in order. 113978.6 is the number we need to reclaim if we want to see upside. Why? Because that would be our first local sign of strength of a change of market structure since, really, we were at 120,000. Isn't that crazy? So we need to now see this so we can say, okay, we've made a higher high, then we can make a higher low, then we can make a higher high. That's the only ticket out of the woods, baby. All right, we've come up to our first resistance. All right, great place if you're long to lock in and take profit one. All right, why am I long from this level? Why am I long from this level? Well, simply put, guys, it was a key level on my chart, right? Key level on the chart, baby. Key level on the chart in the Casper Crew, right? We are ready for that trade. This was the trade that we took on Friday, that we locked in that profit. And this trade here is the one that we've been looking for a while. That is a key level on the chart, baby. Now look, when we look at what's happening here, there's a few things we need to realize. First of all, Bitcoin is breaking down from this channel. Not a good sign. Secondly, Bitcoin is back testing the channel. Oof. Not a good sign. Third of all, we are in a local downtrend, and unless we can start to reclaim this channel and make that higher high, we could be screwed. S-K-R-U-T-E. Screwed. But is there a silver lining here? Yeah, there's a silver lining. Look, there's a lot of linings here, all different types of precious metal colors. Well, let's go to the daily time frame. Actually, let's start on the weekly time frame here. All right, it's about to get heavy, guys. Make sure to smash the likes. Now, look. Let's discuss the elephant in the room first. We can see right now, printing on our chart will confirm in 11 hours. This thing right here on the weekly time frame. All right, let's zoom in so we can see nice and good. The red dot on the weekly, also known as El Punto Rojo, El Mexican Gangster, who is trying to smuggle the Bitcoin price across the northern borders of support and resistance and bring us back down into the range over here. Okay, El Punto Rojo, we've seen him before. We've seen him fail before. In fact, back in June, El Punto Rojo reared his ugly head back in June. Now, what happened back in June? El Punto Rojo, he rears his ugly head, but then his arch nemesis, El Punto Verde, aka La Green Dot, comes out. Now, this is the arch nemesis of El Punto Rojo. He's trying to smuggle the candles back north. El Punto Rojo is trying to bring them south. El Punto Verde, the green dot, he's trying to bring them back north. And you can see it was a battle between two fierce Mexican gangsters. And El Punto Verde, he won. Why did he win? Well, clearly El Punto Rojo, although he's a tough gangster, you can tell he's been chilling out, maybe smoking too many cigars, maybe eating too many cheeseburgers. Dude can't run very fast. He's a little fat. Could lose a little weight. El Punto Verde, dude does his high-intensity interval cardio every day. You know what I'm saying? He does those assault bike intervals to try and stay agile. And you can see on the chart here, El Punto Rojo, you know, he tried real hard to push us down here, but he was just too slow. You know, he gave it a good shot, but he's running. Then El Punto Verde comes out nice and fast. Speedy Gonzalez, we call him in Espanol. Boom! Pumps us back over that key area of resistance. Now, here's the scary thing. I'm just gonna be honest, all right? I'm gonna give it to you straight. I never give it to you get here on the Jason Casper YouTube. This bearish divergence on the weekly time frame does have the potential to end the bull run, just like this one did too. Because whenever you are in a bull run and you have what's known as the upside down Sam Bankman-Fried bearish man boob pattern, okay, where the price is getting higher, but the momentum waves on market Cipher B and the money flow is getting lower, this historically ends the bull run, okay? It has the potential to, should I say. And we can see right now on market Cipher B, the money flow and the momentum are both getting lower. All right, the resemblance is striking here. The medical term, if actually, there was just an article about this in the British, I'm sorry, not the British, the New England Journal of Medicine. They wrote an article about this condition. It's called gynecomasticus crooked. It's a Latin term that means crooked man breasts. You know, this does have the potential to end the Bitcoin bull run. It's crazy, you know. That's another thing that gives me caution. When the New England Journal of Medicine is talking about Bitcoin, you know, that does make you think, it's the top near. But this does have the potential. Here's the thing. We don't have to worry about none of that. We don't have to worry about none of that until we actually see the Bitcoin price lose the previous range high and come back inside this range. All right. Why don't we have to worry about that until here? Because in my opinion, this bearish divergence doesn't mean a thing until we change market structure on the weekly. And if we come back inside the range, this would be the first time ever in this bull run where we see a failed auction after a breakout. What do I mean by failed auction? Well, I don't even know what that is, guys. No, I'm just playing. All right, here's what a failed auction is. We have a breakout, right, of a level. Like usually when you break out of a level, right, it's very strong. There's follow through, there's volume, there's buyers that step in, and we consolidate, and then boom, we continue in the uptrend. But what happens on a failed auction is there's just simply not enough buyers to keep that price action going higher. There's just not enough buyers coming in to continue the uptrend. So we get the breakout, but then we fail to have the buyers. A failed auction, right? You go to an auction, people are auctioning off stuff. You know, if there's no one to buy the stuff you're auctioning, it's a failed auction. All right, people auctioning Bitcoin. Boom, we come back into the range. This would be the first time in the bull run that we've seen that happen. That's not a good sign, especially in confluence with the bearish dip. But here's the good news. The good news is we have a lot of time until that happens, right? In fact, let's go ahead and pull the volume that traded here. You can see that really, until we lose this green box with these previous highs, this is a very strong, objectively speaking, strong uptrend. We have a clean break, and if we come back to here, this will be a back test. A back test before another move to the upside. Very similar to what happened last August. Remember, I was saying a year and 2 days ago, 367 days ago, we saw something in August which totally changed the bias of everybody, right? We had broken out of the range. We got a big pump. Then we had that move down all summer, and then on August 5th, all right, it was a Monday. I remember it because I longed this level during the New York Open live stream, VIP stream in the Casper crew. I'm like, guys, I'm long, baby. It's now or never. It's now or never. And it was now or never. If we didn't bounce from here, that's it, right? So we got the bounce from here in August, and that gave us our big push. So we had the breakout, we had the retest in August, big push. We go back 2 years ago. All right, look at this. We had the breakout. All right. Then in August, what happens? We come for the retest. August 2023. Bam! That's where we get the big move to the upside. So the silver lining here is that August, historically, in the bull run, has been the month of the big bounce. All right? August, historically, has been the month of the big bounce. Now, as we're coming down to here, we need to remember, yes, there's a chance we confirm El Punto Rojo on the weekly. All right? We just, you know, there's no doubting that El Punto Rojo right here on the week. Okay, look at him. There he is, peeking out at us. He's mocking us. Ha ha, you Bitcoin bulls, you crypto people. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. All right. Now, we got to be looking at our lower time frames because remember, what was our criteria back here? We saw El Punto Rojo. We said, okay, it doesn't look the best. But remember, he's out of shape. El Punto Verde is much better cardiovascular conditioning. So we need to look at the lower time frames now to see how are things looking here. Now, I'll be honest with you. Last El Punto Rojo was canceled out by daily El Punto Verde. All right, daily El Punto Verde right here, canceled out weekly El Punto Rojo. All right. Now, look at what's potentially happening here. Follow with me. I know it might be a little hard to follow, but watch what's happening here, guys. Within a few days, there's a real potential here to see our good friend El Punto Verde on El Market Cipher B de Daily, right? De Dia. There's a good chance we see him popping on up here. I bet you guys didn't know I knew Spanish. Man, look, man of many languages. You know what I mean? Hola, konnichiwa. Ni hao. Buongiorno. There's a good chance, shalom. There's a good chance we see this right here, right? And if we do, there's also a really good chance that by the time El Punto Verde rears his head, we see the daily momentum wave coming down lower than what it was back here before the breakout. Do you know what that means, guys? Do you know what this means? Do you know what this means? Because this is a silver lining, I'll tell you, man. This is getting me more excited than that time me and Carl from the moon drove to McDonald's in his Maserati to buy a Big Mac meal. Alright, this is getting me stoked, man. What I'm seeing on the chart right now is getting me stoked. Alright, like that time I was screaming into a plunger on a treadmill in front of 2,000 people. I was so dang stoked, alright? It's getting me feeling more giddy than I used to feel back when I was in college majoring in trans, non-carbon, binary emission, gender intersectionality studies. Alright? This is getting me feeling crazier than that time I ended up on the bathroom floor with a sock on my head. Because, look at this. What do we got here on the chart? What do we got on the chart? Make sure to smash the likes. Alright? We have on the chart a very clear... Here, let me clean everything off here. Let me clean everything off here, alright? We have very bullish looking stuff on Market Cipher and the candles, which is this. This is a very clear bottom signal. Why is it a very clear bottom signal? Because as the price was getting lower to key support, Market Cipher B was giving us a bullish divergence. The momentum was getting higher as the price was getting lower into key support. Then what happened is we had a big pump and we had a change of market structure, right? We broke the downtrend. We started making higher highs. Then what happened? Then we came and we got a retest of the Fibonacci Golden Pocket 786 zone. All right? Basically, that was around $100,000 backtest, right? What price was that? Yeah, around $100,000. Right into the trade setup we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, by the way. Shout out to the Casper Crew for the trade setup given, taken, and money made, baby. But we got that backtest, and as we got that backtest into $100,000, look at Market Cipher B. Market Cipher B printed a trigger wave. A trigger wave is a wave that continues the direction of the initial bullish divergence. So first you have the divergence, price is getting lower, momentum's getting higher. The next leg up happens when the price and the momentum are both getting higher and you print that bottom. And then the third and the fourth and the fifth leg happen when you have what's known as a hidden bullish divergence. A hidden bullish divergence is the price is making a higher low right? In an uptrend, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. But the oscillator is making a lower low, all right? This is called a hidden bullish divergence. And if everything I just said confuses you, I'm really sorry. I did my best to explain it as clearly as possible. But basically what we have here is a bottom signal, continuation signal number 1, which is why we longed it, and potentially now continuation signal number 2, which is price has not come lower than that first higher low, but the oscillator has come lower. All right, look at the weekly time frame. Look at the bull market. Okay, look at the whole entirety of the bull market. I just want to show you that what I'm saying is I'm not just blowing smoke up your patootie to get you to like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Please, I'm begging it, but I'm not begging you. But please, please, my whole self-worth is wrapped up in how many subscribers I have. I can't sleep at night. I'm looking at the number. Why won't it go up? Don't people like me? Now look, we have the price getting lower. The momentum waves are getting higher. That's our bottom signal. Then we make our first higher low with our continuation signal, right? That trigger wave. Then we make our next higher low with the hidden bullish divergence. Price is getting higher along the trend line, but momentum's getting lower. Then, again, we hit the dang trend line for the third time, and momentum continues to get lower. So we are seeing right now on the daily time frame exactly what has happened on weekly time frames, and this is a pattern that works on every single time frame for looking for continuations. Okay, so as we watch this week of August, which historically speaking, remember, has been the bullish month. All right, we saw in 2024, we saw in 2023. Here we are in 2025. We're investigating clearly. We've got our magnifying glasses. We're looking for el punto rojo y el punto verde. We got to get that eye nice and big, baby. All right, where's that? Ah, there. All right, we're investigating it. We're using our scientific. We're reading the New England Journal of Medicine for Begonicus Camasticus Crookidus. All right, we're using all the tools available to us, like good old market Cipher B, to say, man, this could be that continuation pattern. Now, not only, remember, here's the thing, the continuation pattern, where is it likely to happen? At key support resistance flip, right? Look at this, the previous highs of the range, we're coming down to backtest. All right, that's where we're seeing the continuation pattern. We're not just seeing it in the middle of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We're not just seeing it in the middle, no, we're seeing it at a key support resistance flip. Wow. Amazing. Now, could this actually be the bounce? Unlikely, because it happened over a weekend. Unlikely, but it's possible. Now remember, the zone that we're looking for the bounce in technically starts here. This is why I'm long. You know, in the Casper crew, this level, if you're in the Casper crew, you have access to this chart. This secret level right here, 111965.8, was a secret level on my chart, which is why I just longed it, man. I just took a dang long. Right from the dang low. All right. But God like says, Jay, your talk means nothing when you're wrong. Yeah, that's technically true. If I'm wrong, all this stuff I'm saying means absolutely nothing. If I'm wrong and el punto rojo is really gonna win this fight against el punto verde, if I'm wrong and the continuation pattern on the daily doesn't play out, everything I just said means nothing, man. And the bull runs over, and that's it. We can pack our bags. I'll see y'all in 4 years, baby. All right? But I don't think I'm wrong. I think I'm right here. I'm putting my money where my dang mouth is, all right? You know, look, I'll be totally honest with you guys. I'm mostly out of Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that I bought in the bear market in order to sell in the bull market, I'm mostly out. I'm more than 70% out of my spot Bitcoin that I bought in 2022 and 2023. But don't misunderstand me. I have a HODL portfolio that I'm never out of, okay? And I'm always stacking it, all right? I'm always stacking it. But the Bitcoin I bought for the purpose of taking profits on spot, I'm 70% out of right now. The reason why I want this pump so bad is mostly because I know that the altcoins have a lot of upward potential right now. And in order for the altcoins to see that upward potential, Bitcoin can't get that failed auction. All right, so yes, look, I'm building a narrative here. It's a bullish narrative. I'm trading my own bullish narrative. You know, it's super important. It's really important, guys, that you have a plan and you stick to your dang plan and you don't flop and grope based on short-term emotion. All right? You know, Jason Casper tweeted something the other day and it really did strike me. I'm like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. He says, sometimes it's not all about the money. You get money and you lose money. The question is whether you're stuck to your plan. That's how I trade. I follow my beliefs, my strategy, my rules. Even if I don't make money, I know I executed my plan. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Sure, it might sting. I might lose or miss out, but I can still say I stay true to my setup. And that's what matters more to me in the long run. This is 100% true, guys. When you take a trade, when you invest in something, when you have a conviction, you need to stay true to your original conviction. Because if you change your plan halfway through based on your emotion, and then your original plan plays out, it's really hard to forgive yourself for that. But if you have a plan and it doesn't play out, you can say, I stuck to my plan. And trust me, sticking to your plan over time is going to make you more profitable than the short-term changes. Because in my plan of this Bitcoin bull run, you guys have seen me go through the gamut of emotions. But I have stuck to my plan the whole time. All right? But yeah, this is our line in the sand right now for the bullish scenario. And we are seeing that continuation pattern about to print on the daily. Remember, in a very powerful uptrend, money flow coming to the zero line oftentimes acts as support. All right? So this is a make it or break it. What else are we going to be looking for now? We're going to go down to the lower time frames. All right? And on the lower time frames, we need to be aware of what is happening here. Because a hidden bullish divergence on a high time frame is always confirmed by a regular bullish divergence on a low time frame. For example, on the weekly time frame, when we printed this bullish divergence, what happened on the 4-day time frame, the 2-day? We saw a hidden bullish divergence on the high time frame where price is respecting a trend line, momentum's getting lower. And then on the low time frames, we actually saw a regular divergence. The price is getting lower and the momentum is getting higher, right? Strangely resembling a set of uneven butt cheeks, big and juicy on the left, skinny on the right, like that waitress at the diner named Dolores. Hey, Jason, how you doing? You know, she talks like this because she still smokes inside like it's 1985. Jason, how you doing, hon? You looking skinny, hon. Let me get you some pancakes, Jason. You eating enough at home? Is your wife cooking for you? Of course, now your wife is offended. You know, she feels judged that Dolores is thinking she doesn't cook good. It's like, Dolores, I can't believe you think I'm skinny. I've been hitting the gym, you know, I'm on a bulk, baby. And I've been eating all that chicken, rice, broccoli, and all that stuff that you're supposed to eat, right? Nah, Jason, you're too skinny over here. But here's the thing. Jason, you know, I can't help you gain weight, hun. But I could definitely help you make some money in these markets. Here's how. Look, when the price is coming to support, you can see here we got the key support, the point of control, the price candle's getting lower. When you look at my butt cheeks over here, that skinny one on the right, that marks the bottom where we get the reversal. All right, that's exactly what happened down here on the 4-day time frame. We went to the diner. We saw Dolores. She tried to force feed us pancakes. We saw her uneven cheeks. We got the move to the upside. All right. So as we're watching this on the daily time frame, and remember, it's still a weekend, but as we're watching this, remember, as long as we don't lose this low, it's still a valid hidden bullish divergence. So we come down, we make that continuation pattern. We want to see that 4-hour time frame looking like what it looks like right now, guys. All right, look at this. Look at this. You could see we got ourselves a left and a right cheek. All right, left and a right cheek. Now, like I said, it's a weekend, so it's not necessarily the bottom. A lot of times we go for that weekend liquidity, but let's say we do something like this, right? We range a little bit, and then Asia opens. New York opens, we do something like this, right? Guess what? We'll have something like this, all right? 1, 2, 3 butt cheeks, all right? It's called a tricheecular formation. A tricheecular formation, and you know, that's very bullish. A tricheecular formation is very bullish. I mean, look at this on the daily time frame. When we had that low back in April, what did we see? What did we see? A tricheecular formation, right? We had our first set of cheeks. We had a cheecular fake out, and then we did the tricheecular formation. And boom, that was the bottom, right? So be looking on our 4-hour time frame for a tricheecular formation. I know it's very difficult. I know I'm speaking Latin medical terms to you guys. The tricheecular formations and the gynecomasticus crooked. You know, look. I know it can be confusing. Look, if you're confused about these markets, I highly recommend you check out my free trading course on YouTube. Over on youtube.com/JasonCasper. All right, check it out. Free 18 sessions. Right here. Check it out now. All right, so that's our silver lining. This is our bullish scenario that I'm personally kind of looking for right now. And let's see, how's the Bitcoin doing? She is trying to reclaim. This is going to be our first sign of strength, guys. On the 1-hour time frame here, she is trying to reclaim this key level. All right, and if we do, there's a good chance, man, we get that squeeze back up to 121. Let's go, Bitcoin. Can we do it? I feel like the bottom's not in. I feel like the bottom's not in yet. We'll have to see. Maybe it is. But I feel like we're going to get some kind of a retracement here. It's not going to be... I don't think it's going to be that easy. I feel like it could be like what happened at 100K. You know? So tomorrow, when we do the VIP live stream in the Casper crew, we're going to be looking for that juicy ninja entry. The long and the short. All right, now let's discuss a bearish scenario, because we got to be prepared for both. All right? We got to be prepared for both. K Diggity, he says, Jason's course is awesome. I spent my entire last Sunday watching it, and we'll do the same this Sunday. Do yourself a favor and watch it. Oh, man. Don't... Guys, if you're at church, man, turn your dang phone off, all right? All right. If you're in church, do not be watching crypto stuff, all right? Come on. Everyone loves Dolores. All right, so here's the deal. Let's discuss a bearish scenario. We just discussed the bullish scenario and why I'm still bullish here. Why we're seeing major continuation patterns forming on Bitcoin. Why we should not be concerned unless we lose the key support resistance flip, all right? So just a disclaimer. I'm about to give a bearish scenario so that we can be prepared. But I personally am leaning more bullish based on everything I've just laid out for the first 45 minutes of this dang stream, okay? So here we go. We have, on the market Cipher B, the potential of confirming in 11 hours el punto rojo. El punto rojo, a gangster from Mexico. Okay? If we confirm this red dot on the weekly time frame right here, like we said, there's a real chance that the top for Bitcoin is in this cycle. All right, because the top always ends with this pattern of the price is getting higher, the momentum waves, and the momentum and the money flow is getting lower, right? The Sam Bankman-Fried upside down bearish man boo pattern, the money flow and the momentum waves getting lower as the price is getting higher. All right, gynecomasticus crooked in the Latin in the New England Journal of Medicine, that's what they call it. So, again, I gave you my bullish scenario and what I'm looking for, how we're seeing lower time frame bullish signs, even though we're seeing higher time frame bearish signs. I'm saying it's very similar to what happened over here in June, where we got the confirmation, but we were still bullish, and we stuck to our dang guns. And when we got the pullback to the key support, $100,000, we were ready. We gave the setup in advance in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. I longed it. in the ocean, guys. Literally, I took this long trade in the ocean. That's why it's so messed up and hard to read. My hands were wet. I'm on the phone, trying to make sure my kids don't drown here. And I'm like, man, it's now or never, baby. I got to go for it. We long it. Boom. Look at that entry, baby. Look at that entry. Right from $100,000. You know? Man, that's a juicy entry. I got to be honest with you. All right. We were ready for the $105,000 retest as well. In the Casper crew. Setup given, trade taken, profits locked, baby. All right. So here's the deal. We're seeing our bullish stuff, but if we lose the value area high of the range, then I would say this weekly bearish El Punto Rojo is probably winning. And El Punto Verde, although he is in better cardiovascular condition than El Punto Rojo, because El Punto Rojo just sits there in the back of the dang car smoking a cigar, eating his cheeseburger. El Punto Verde, at least every day, he gets there on the treadmill doing his cardio. So he's faster. But here's the thing, just because you're faster doesn't necessarily mean you're stronger. Maybe El Punto Rojo, you know, he could deadlift a lot more than El Punto Verde. Definitely has a stronger bench press, 1 rep max. Can't do more than 5 reps on the bench without getting winded, but sometimes that strength just pushes you through this level. Now, if we see this happen, guys, this is a really bad sign. The probabilities, if we lose $109,000, the probabilities say we're more likely to see the low 90s, high 80s. The probabilities say if we come back inside this range here, we're much more likely to see the bottom of the range than we are just to continue in an uptrend. It's possible to continue in an uptrend, but it's very much so less likely, especially given the confirmation of the red dot. So for the bearish scenario, we want to see the red dot confirm and the market structure itself come back down, and we see this kind of failed auction pattern here. All right, where we just run out of buyers, right? We had our breakout. Hey, who wants to buy Bitcoin, right? The auctioneers. Do I hear 120? No. Do I hear 116? No, no one's buying. 113? No. 112? No. No one's buying. It's a failed auction. All right, the opposite of what happened when in April, when Bitcoin came into the range right here. We were saying, what were we saying? Expect a new all-time high, because the probabilities are that we will see the new all-time high, right? It's exactly what we were saying back in April, right? Look at this. Same shirt, same everything. Same shirt, same everything. All right? But this is what we were expecting, right? That new all-time high right there. So, that is a bearish scenario. And if this does start to happen, then yeah, we should be looking for short positions. We should be looking for short positions on a back test of the value area high, right? We back test 109, 110. We could take it down to the low 90s, high 80s. And if we don't bounce from here, guys, then we have to expect a move back down to the low 70s. Honestly, I mean, it's very possible. Now, there's obviously going to be other levels along the way. Right now, as it stands, I would say this. If we do come back down inside the range, the area that we're most likely to get a bounce from is going to be the area between the golden pocket and the 786. So, even if the top is in, this is where we're probably going to bounce from. And so we can expect something like, let's assume the top is in. I don't think the top is in, but for argument's sake, and just for example's sake, let's say the top is in. We come down, we back test, we come into this box. Then we're going to get a bounce. This bounce is either going to give us a higher high, or it's going to give us our first lower high of the bear market, where we basically come back to test around 110,000 and then start the bear market, right? This projection here is based on Fibonacci. This is what is most probable to happen. If we lose 109, get a local back test, we're probably going to come back down to the bottom of the range, low 90s, high 80s, get our bounce. This bounce, if the bear market's in, everyone's going to be like, we're so back. And then we reject from value area high, golden pocket 786. That will be our first lower high of the bull run, and then we will get our first lower low of the bear market, where we will have official confirmation. I mean, technically speaking, you consider this a lower low, but I'm not going to consider this confirmation of the bear market being in, right? Just like I didn't consider this loss confirmation of the bear market being in. You have to consider a loss of the macro range. This would be confirmation of an actual bear market, that we're closing weekly candles below the previous range low. All right. Now, of course, by the time this happens, most people they're not ready for the bear market, right? So that's why, especially when you're in a bull market, number one, you got to be taking profits, okay? And number two, if you get into a short trade, you hold that thing, all right? You hold that short trade. If you want to take a small profit, take a small profit. If it's not a scalp trade meant to be in and out in a minute, for me, what I do in a bull run is, and you guys have seen me do this, and you ask, why are you not closing your short, Jason? Because you never know when that short is the short. All right, you never know. And that's why I hold my shorts. You know? That's why I hold my dang shorts. So yeah, if we do this, right? Especially if we do something like this, you know, every short I take from now on, it's gonna be, I'm gonna do it with the mentality that this could be the short that I hold for the next few years. You know? But I hope that doesn't happen. I just gave my bullish scenario. I've explained to you why I'm bullish even in the face of El Punto Rojo. I've explained in detail why I'm still bullish. Let's see who we got in the chat. Bitcoin's doing all right trying to reclaim this level here. Yeah, hold them shorts, bro. Look, if you want an in-depth, you know, check out this video of the course here. How to manage open trades. I'll talk to you about how and why I hold trades, and really this whole like shorting and longing at the same time and hedging yourself and all this, you know, it really does. This session right here, how to manage open trades, this will really give you a window into my psychology as it comes to holding positions, how I manage my positions, how I manage my open positions to be consistently profitable, and also be in that good place psychologically to remove as much FOMO as possible, to hedge your profits as much as possible, and to use counter trading yourself as an insurance policy, right? Check it out. YouTube.com/Jason Casper. It's a good YouTube channel, you know. I would subscribe if I wasn't already subscribed. In fact, I made thousands of accounts just to subscribe to my own YouTube channel. That's how narcissistic I am, you know. See why BT says just wait and wait and wait and wait and what? Keep holding, 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 holding. What? Got a little Fred Durst action up in here. El Punto ate too much taquitos. Never liquidate your shorts. Get the pens. Major shout out to Jay Schlongen in the chat. Yeah, guys. The official sponsor of the Jason Casper YouTube channel, Depends Adult Diapers. All right, link in the description. You get 10% back. You know, you pee one coffee and you get 2 coffees back right from that diaper. I don't know how it works. All right. Drake doesn't think it's appropriate to have the word nuke in the title because of the current situation we are in, and we moved we moved our submarines closer to Russia. I'm sorry that you find it inappropriate, my friend. Did I learn my strategy from myself, or did someone else learn from you? I learned it from a lot of people, man. Learned it from a lot of people. The N-word. Forex Queen subscribed from a few channels. That's what's up. That's what's up. NASA uses Depends too? Nice. Nice. Thin skin. Yeah, seriously, Jay Schlongen. Seriously, man. But hey, man, everyone's got their own view, man. You know, you can't please everybody. Can't please everybody. What time is church? I don't go to church anymore. I had a church I was going to, but some strange stuff happened there. I had to stop going. So, I ain't got nothing going on today. Just gonna chill out, get some sun, praise the Lord. Did I ever do Wall Street trading? Nah, never. Never. Kelsey says, what a Karen, leave the video. Look, man, we don't hate on our Karens. You know, I myself, remember, I've been there, right? When I was getting my degree in non-carbon, binary emission, gender intersectionality studies, I remember those days, right? Everything offended me, everything was very offensive to me. Everything. It was tough. It was real tough. And what's worse, I'll tell you what was worse about it was when, you know, remember I was majoring in non-carbon binary, because carbon is so bad. Then I started realizing all my food was made of carbon, so I stopped eating. That's how I lost the weight. I was kind of overweight, eating my my Beyond Burgers and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? My vegan chicken nuggets. Then I realized all this stuff was made from carbon, so I had to stop eating. That's how I lost the weight. And then I realized I was made of carbon, and this caused a big existential midlife crisis for me. You know, here I am, $500,000 in debt, a degree in non-carbon, binary emission, gender intersectionality studies, and I couldn't find a job. You know, I applied everywhere. They kept telling me they wanted this thing called experience. I'm like, I don't need experience. I have a college degree. You know? So it was a tough time in my life. All right? But look, it led me into trading. You know, because that's the thing, like, especially when you're really when you know so much about intersectionality, how the importance of the intersection of different things, that can really help you trade. You know, that's how I got this trade set up that you see right here, because we had a few trend lines intersecting on the chart, and the best part about them is they weren't even made of carbon. They were just lines on a screen. You know what I'm saying? Any chance we back test a 4-hour resistance and drop from a... Yes, there is a real chance of this, my man. So look, there is a real chance. I think because this is happening on a weekend, I don't think the bottom is in. All right. I think because it's happening on a weekend, there's a really high chance that the bottom's not in. I think we can, you know, come back up a little bit, get a back test of the support resistance flip, and then come down even a little bit lower and see that trichecular formation that we were looking for on Market Cipher B. All right, the trichecular formation here. We have our left butt cheek, our right butt cheek, and then our far right butt cheek. All right. So I think we could see that, because remember, it is a zone. Right, the zone is, whoops, we got to pull it back farther than that. You know, as long as we don't lose 109, that's our zone, right? So I think it is very possible. I think it is very possible. Yeah, you can't trust a weekend pump. Sometimes you can't. The last weekend pump that was legit was the back test of 100K. Now remember, 100K, we front ran the major support. This happened on a Sunday. Right here, but then that Monday we got our back test. So I'll be looking tomorrow for either a lower low or a higher low, and I'll be in the Casper crew in the VIP Discord. We'll be going over exactly what I'm looking for, and you know, if I decide to take the trade, I'll let the crew know. You know, Just like I did on Friday. I took that trade on Friday. Let the crew know that I've longed it. Gave my reasoning. Told them where I was going to take the profit 1 at the golden pocket. And then, of course, we tapped that golden pocket for the take profit 1. I honestly thought we were going to go higher. I thought it looked bullish. But, of course, we rejected. My plan didn't play out. But here's the thing. We still made our money, right? We still made our dang money. So, that's why it's so important to hit that take profit 1 at the first good risk to reward. That first good risk to reward, you know, you look at this. This is almost a 5-to-1 risk reward. Risking 1 to make 5. All right, so you take out 50-60% of that trade. You risked 1 to make 2.5, 3. You know, you risked $1 to make $3. You already are up 3 times more than you risked. And now you're in a position where even if the rest of your plan doesn't play out, you already made that money. You know what I'm saying? Very similar to the trade I'm currently in right now. You know, I've already hit my take profit 1 here. I've already hit my take profit 1. I've already locked in a profit, $1,500. If I get stopped out now, you know, I'm gonna make over $1,000 on the trade, no matter what. You know, that's the way you got to do it. That's the way you got to do it. We have been having some good Sunday pumps. The weird thing is, this happened. This bounce happened after a. What the heck? Hang on. What is this? I don't remember that being there. You guys remember that thing being there? Oh, I know what the problem is. Yeah, the problem with this pump is it's not really a Sunday. We didn't bottom out on the Sunday. We bottomed out on Saturday. This is before even Asia Open, I think, right? Because I remember I thought the weekly candle, I thought this was a new weekly candle, and then I looked and it wasn't. Let's check it out. Oh, no. It did happen on a Sunday candle. Okay. Man, I was wrong all this time. Okay. It happened on this day's candle. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. How's the garden coming? It's good. It's good, you know. Lift weights, push-ups, pull-ups, chin-ups, sit-ups, squats, calf raises, bike, run every week. Shout out to Fred Sloan. Yeah, you gotta stay in shape, you know what I'm saying? What happens on the weekends stays on the weekends. Unless Trump tweets or does some tariffs. What's my next support level for ETH? What in the world is kind of profile picture is this? PMG George Lifer Banterson. What? What? Okay, man, that's intense, alright? He's an intense trader. This is tonight. We find out if we're going to a bear market. No, G7. I didn't say that. I did not say that, man. I did not ever say that. I said if we confirm a bearish div and we see a failed auction and change of market structure, that's the confirmation of the bear market, okay? It's a big difference. Alright? Fred Sloan's a 58-year-old black belt. Wow. Last month he threw 3,000 punches on the heavy bag and the aqua bag, 6,000 punches on the speed bag, 9,000 punches on the reflex bag. That's crazy, Fred Sloan. I hope when I'm your age, I'm still able to do stuff that I want to do, you know? Yeah, so ETH, my next support for ETH is going to have to be 3,300, okay? 3,300 is my next support for ETH. So same deal, ETH is getting the weekend bounce. If when the week starts, we see another dip, another deep to the downside, then, yeah, we're looking at that POC at around 3,300. This would line up very nicely with Bitcoin taking another dip. This would line up very nicely with bullish divergences that we would see on like our 4-hour time frame here. You know, do some squat thrusts. Don't really know what that is. Am I using an incline on my treadmill? No, but I do have a book under the flat treadmill. This treadmill doesn't have an incline. It's just a cheap Amazon one. What made me take the long on 112? Where was that? Is that the one I'm in now? Oh, it was this level I had on my chart, man. I've been planning for it literally for over 2 weeks. I had a green line right on my chart here. I had an alert set. I got the alert. I looked. Swing failure pattern of the low. Bullish divergences on our 24-minute trichecular formation. I went and took that trade. Actually, I did take 2 trades here. I took the first one and the second one. The first one was a loss. Allow me to show. I longed it twice. First one, a loss. All right. So I lost $372 on the first one. And then the second one, obviously, I'm still in. Look, guys, I'm all about this exchange, KCEX. Now, I've been messing with it. I've been trading on it. This is now 3 weeks. I really enjoy trading on it. This is I think, going to be my 3rd week trading on the exchange. And I'm a fan. I like it. I also love BLOFIN. I love WEEX. ANTARCTIC is going to change everything. But for right now, man, I'm driving with that KCEX stuff. You know? How did ExoCharts look when I entered? I have no idea, herder boy. I entered from my phone. I did not look at ExoCharts. Most of the time, I don't look at ExoCharts when I take a trade. It's just too much noise for me, man. I'm too stupid for that stuff. Alright? I don't have time to do long calculus division when I'm looking for a dang trade, but let's see how EXO looked here. It looked like, I don't know. This is how it looked. It looked like we made a lower low, decrease of open interest. We had shorts closing out. I don't even know. We didn't have any kind of divergence. We did have then a divergence here. We had some bullish CBD building here. But yeah, EXO for me is too much info for me. Alright, just give me some smooth, nice market cipher. That's all I need. Look at how beautiful this is here. I mean, you can get a scalp in at least, for sure, when you see this right here. Alright, we form our low, bullish divergence, money flow getting higher, momentum getting higher. Remember, you have to have a key level there too. Like, this is a level I've had on my chart for 2 weeks. So, like, it's not, you don't just look for this arbitrarily. You have to have a key level of support. Then we come down for that low, bullish div, money flow, looking good. Then we come down for another low. It's looking even better. It's like, you gotta take it. You gotta take that one. You know? You gotta take that one. The risk is so small, too. Really, the risk is so small. Like, the idea is that this is a stop hunt, right? So that means if we come any lower than this, you get out so low risk. So low risk. Excellent risk to reward. It's like, for me, that's a trade every single time. Those are like the best kind of setups. You know? Potential inverse head and shoulder forming right now? Yeah, potential, Shahan. But here's the thing, again. I do have to say, like, for me, I have to say, like, I don't trust weekend bottoms. So, just be prepared for us to take the low. But yeah, I'm also going to be looking for a higher low. So tomorrow, when the trading week starts and I do my VIP stream in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, that's one of the scenarios we'll be looking for. King of Bitcoin says, all you need to master is market structure, supply and demand, and price action. Yeah, honestly, that's not how I trade. But I will tell you this. The more simplified you can make your trading, the better. Alright, when you are looking at too much stuff, paralysis of analysis kicks in. All right, some people, they're good at trading with order flow only. I don't know how they do it. All right, I'll be honest, I'm too stupid for it. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I'm some smart guy, okay? You know, I have to, you know, look, for me, I have to, look, I even make my market cipher blue and purple. You know, in order for me to feel comfortable trading, it has to be like I'm watching an episode of Teletubbies. All right, my TA's like Teletubbies over here. Got Tinky Winky and Poe coming on with the green, you know? It's just nice and simple. So dang simple. Even a Teletubbies fan could do it. You know, you just get some lines on a chart and some nice butt cheeks and you're good to go. Alright, so simple. I don't have to think, what's the order flow like? Are there long, shorts, this, that, the delta? I don't even... I just look at Market Cipher and in a split second I can make a decision. Price is at my level. Let's look at Market Cipher. Trade, yes or no? It's very simple. I'm not sitting there with my pen and paper. You order flow guys, let's see. You take the positive, divide by the negative, and then you got the this and, you know, you got the all this stuff and the footprint. I don't have time for that, man. I'm too dumb. You know? I'm too dumb. Yeah, that's true. Different traders have different styles, and that's another thing. You got to find what works for you. But at the end of the day, you will find that all good traders have one thing in common, which is they have a very, very simplified strategy. It's very simple. It might be different, but it's simple, right? Now, I'm being sarcastic about my like long calculus division, but the people who do trade with order flow, for them, it's easy, right? They look at it, they make a decision. It's easy for them, you know? So, yeah, XO is broken now anyway. We need a new indicator or whatever. Yeah, Splash says the longer I trade, the less stuff I use. For sure. Faux show. That's the same with me, man. Was this long a market or a limit? It was a market. It was a market. Yeah, you can't just limit into something like that, man. You're gonna get wrecked, in my opinion. You got a market. How is XO broken? It just keeps glitching out so much that, like, the data's... It doesn't show the data, you know? It just doesn't show the data. You know what I'm saying? Jason, Lifer, and Frankie Candles are my go-to. That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, I think I'm gonna head out, guys. You know, it's been a good stream. I'm gonna get off the desk over here. Let's go over here. The walking desk. We're gonna come chill over here. Yo, yo, yo. Check, check, check. May God bless everybody. We've got ourselves a Torah scroll right here. Let's see. With the mic. We got a problem with the mic. No, we're good. We're good. We got the mic. This is a Torah scroll. May the Lord bless you all. In Jesus' name. And may you all receive this blessing in Hebrew. Yevarechacha Adonai v'yishmerecha Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha Shalom b'shem Yeshua HaMashiach. Amen. That means may the Lord bless you, may He protect you, may He shine light upon you, May he have grace upon you, and may he turn his face towards you and give you wholeness. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.